What's up, beautiful people? This is Shedding into Soul Culture's first podcast with audio only. We are going to be capturing sound of a journey that was experienced yesterday between my divine brother, Bradley Bussche, and myself, Leanne Campbell. I am currently a yoga teacher and owner of Conscious Blissed Out Network. I've worked with many networks like Conscious Living Network, and we network also with Unite. So we are a growing heart-based community vision of sharing moments of miracles and shedding into soul culture. Came to me in the last week or so because my focus in my internal awakening with samadhi and understanding the mind, the body, the spirit, with over 30 years of meditation, is really understanding the soul in meditation. So as we grow through these methodologies and we recognize our cycles, our patterns, and the nature of being human, moments of shedding into soul culture is something that has been happening with me for a long time with friends, family, clients, and just holding space. So, Brad, I want to just invite you in here with your voice and say thank you so much for your time yesterday, and inspiring this first talk on shedding into soul culture, because we experienced many divine moments together yesterday, and I just thought it'd be such a great time to invoke and communicate through some of the miracles. So it's so wonderful to be with you again and share a little bit about your story and our gathering yesterday and highlights that you feel were great shedding for you.
Yeah, I mean, man, Leanne, yeah, thank you for welcoming me onto this divine network that you've brought forth here tangibly for us to gather and to communicate in a forum and in a way where we can express our inner worlds and journeys of spiritual enlightenment and of communion and of awakening that inner child. This is exactly what happened yesterday. Would you not agree?
I love it. I love it. Let's talk more about that. So,
Yeah, I mean, like really, like this inner child is like we were like on this journey, and it was like again playing like I'm now in my just coming into my midlife, which I guess in the human world they say, 50 is midlife here. So I'm coming into my this age, and but yet yesterday, I was feeling very heavy before meeting up with you, and very just in a place where I'm just inundated by this heavy world that we live in, of the mundane and the day to day, and yeah, this consciousness of community seems to be depleting more and more. So it's so refreshing to see souls and individuals like yourself coming together and bringing a network where we can all gather and open it up. um, any setbacks that we may be having, especially talking on a spiritual level, which I think that it's become almost taboo in the
mm.
midst of world politics and such. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's just tell the listeners a little bit about when we met. I mean, 2010, we were at a real estate conference just learning about first buying information. And then we ran into each other and had this dynamic connection immediately. You were working for Epoch Times at that time, right?
That's right. Yeah, 2010 Epoch Times. Yeah, I had started. Back in my younger, yeah, a few years prior to that, coming from Alberta out, I guess as we call out west to BC. I was working with Epoch Times. I was one of the founders there at the Alberta chapter. But certainly, Epoch Times, as an independent news media, came from a group of 10 individuals, dissidents from China, escaping communist China today, and trying to get their word out of a very big persecution that was going on inside China. So you had seen me at one of those conferences, at that time in Yeah, I was in my early 20, my mid, my, I guess 20, 30. Yeah, my mid 30s.
Mm, yeah. And it's amazing how, audience, like when we talk about soul culture and shedding into it, there's significant moments of pillars in our life where certain soul stands out, but it also has to do with us as individuals, how we're growing, how we're shaping ourselves, and just being open
Was
to
it
like,
not one of those moments? Was it not one of those moments where we just looked eye to eye and it was like we immediately just was like meeting up, not for the first time?
oh yeah, yeah.
Like we just like, wow, it's like so nice to see you again.
Yeah, and
One of those
gratitude
moments.
and gratitude to having this connection for that long, and also not being able to see each other probably since 2013 or 14, I guess it was around that time. Um, and the growth in the periods, like even through COVID, we've always been connected.
Well,
Which is,
yeah, social media really helps with that, with our news feeds, right? From time to time.
yeah, amazing. And
Gives us a new feed, especially if we're somewhat diligent in that. It gives us an idea of where someone's at. However, we do tend to, in this culture, we don't tend to shed, the soul enough in social media, and that is true. But those of us that do, like yourself, I am always been so inspired to follow your feeds because you do go deep and you do get into the depths of the soul, and places where we're maybe get uncomfortable and we don't want to talk about. And I find that yeah, I find that you're free, and it's almost like your soul and your spirit's unlocked and has this ability to share these messages. And I'm always been intrigued over the years, so I've always kept, yeah, I feel heartfully connected in that way. But yeah, meeting up in real time and seeing the face and the smile and having that energy feel together, yeah, I recall it was like meeting up with a family member immediately. It was like as if I had known you for so long. And so it was so special yesterday when, after, like as you were just saying, after all these years, we still have this profound connection. And what is that? It's certainly a soul connection, and it's certainly something you were, well, we were planning. There was like we were trying to make a date of time to meet up, right?
and then
Um,
also I was planning to come out to visit you in your location. So I think it's just the hunger to meet and the perfect timing on you coming into the city, and then me wanting to come out to learn more about your developments, and bring the soul, the shedding of the soul culture, wisdom, methodologies, the work that I've been doing on myself and with many, many souls, and the network that I've been building for a while, out into places where we can expand these energy fields of transformation quickly. So, audience, a very big part of building this energy that I've been building within myself, and also trusting in the messages of the intuition and trusting in the divinity, is the transformation of what happened yesterday too. And
Right, right, right. So, on a side note, just for the audience, right? Just
yeah.
so, what was really going on? Basically, Leanne and I, we hadn't talked for quite a few years, and in between, we've kept connected, like as we were saying, social, in the social media aspect, without words and in spirit. But anyways, there was this. It was building up, and all of a sudden, there was a timing where we were going to get together soon, and you had sensed that, well, we should get together and we should do something profound in the small time that we had. So my wife and I, we were just passing through Vancouver and the mainland, and yeah, we had this hour and a half, it looked like, but it opened up to a few hours. But you were very adamant that we should go out and do some yoga.
Mm,
And we should open up and heal. You were talking about healing. You felt there was some kind of healing that was going to be needed in this process, and that's certainly something we experienced. So it's just a little foreshadow for everyone. Just, yeah, we had spent many years, and I'm so excited. If not only I'm just so excited for you, but also for this reunion and timing. I'm amazed that you were just saying, just it was a week ago that you came up with the shedding,
yeah.
the
Yeah, the
soul shedding.
transformation of, like, well, heart-based community podcast, I was up to 26, and it's just the right timing, because I feel like that's where heart-based community needs shedding. And so when we're in the heart and
So let's get into that. Let's just for the again, what do you regards when you're talking about soul shedding? What comes to
so
heart and
shedding
mind?
into soul culture. So as
Yes.
we are together and we're in, and anybody who's doing work on themselves, like myself, or using a methodology like yoga, or diving deep into introspection with the void of creation, the source energy, and in deepening that in a daily practice, you know, the amount of love and consciousness that is growing inside the vehicle of oneself has the ability to hold space for another soul to come in. And so I think just in meeting right away, there was a total shift when we had reconnected after so long. So as I say, coming from building up this heart-based community vision, there's enough content already in the last 26 podcasts and community people. It's time to go into methodologies. And I really feel like that's where the last couple months it's been intense of a lot more integration of training. I've been doing rapid amounts of training, but all the right timing of things around me saying, no, it's time. Whoever's around me, I'm just going to open up this energy and I'm going to see what happens and
Right. And
experiment.
it's fascinating because it's true. It's like, now let's start a conversation from these things and these pathways that we've all learned. And so for
Yes.
you, a strong background in yoga, for myself in qigong, since my
Mm.
early 20s, and here we come together as soul sisters and brothers and have such a divine connection. And are we to look at each other and ignore each other's paths? Absolutely not. I was just so taken. Do you know that I've never done yoga? It was the first full round of yoga was with you yesterday.
Wow, I feel honored.
No, do you know this?
No.
Yeah, yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, no
Wow.
yoga. Yeah, just me doing qigong out throughout the years and a little bit of martial arts, but that's about it. So I was
So what
so
I found is
blessed to
really
have had that
beautiful too.
experience with you.
So what probably really beautiful, and thank you for that reminder, because all the methods are really deeply connected in flow. The most important thing is we get into a flow state. And like you said, you were coming with a heavy heart and heavy things, and you're carrying heavy things, right? Shedding into soul culture, it happened immediately in presence of maintaining these methodologies. So as we maintain them, and the reminder is to be in commune with others that are like-minded, and why it's important to encourage it, because of what we also had a witness to the miracles yesterday, listeners. So there is significant miracles that nobody could have planned, that we were able to witness the divine work through us as children of the divine. And I
Yeah,
guess
these were like, just on a side, like these miracles, which you're going to find out and hear soon, is that these were things that manifested right in front of us. You know,
yeah,
it's like, as you were talking about this garden that you come in, and it's like your Garden of Eden, where you've been
yes,
practicing their yoga. You were saying for 6 years now in that
yeah,
spot.
yeah.
What's that place called in Surrey?
That's Fleetwood Gardens. It's a beautiful garden that I've been meditating in for over 6 years now. And it's just, I watch the seasons. Like, they have a labyrinth in there. They have portals of where I do meditation. The city of Surrey has so much. They put so much into the gardening, and I just feel like the community. When we talk about communing with each other, the community is that reality where we can commune outside with methodologies and appreciate how much goes into beautifying a city. And it's why I go out into those places to appreciate and to hold space for these methods, and also just to learn, and watch other people. Like, we're all here contributing to some amount of service, and it's a great atmosphere to do. Nature is way better to do all these methods in. Any type of yoga, qigong, any type of healing in nature, we get so much more in tune with ourselves.
I mean, really, and when you mix, like you're saying, these methodologies, in with nature together, come on, man. This is like a combination for elation. I mean, spiritual elation, like
Mm.
genuinely. And I mean, this is what I was feeling yesterday. It was the purpose. It was the divine purpose that you and I had got together, set this intention out, and said, you know what? We're gonna go out. You're like, we're gonna grab the yoga mat, but I mean, even building up to that. I mean, you were filled. What did we? What did you start me off with at 8 that morning? I think it was some. What was it yesterday? You were. It was the green
Oh, matcha. When we
matcha.
had the
Yeah,
matcha for the
matcha.
heart chakra.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
So
started with
matcha.
the heart chakra with the matcha and a banana potassium just to get the body
Yes.
ready.
Right. So that it's just it itself is nurtured and not starving during the practice itself. I found that very special. So that was just as meaningful as building up to, as everything is. But anyways, yeah, just this purpose, intentful, great thing to do together as playful spirits in this universe that are seamlessly don't know each other, only met in person literally in this time around, right? Like, I mean, we can count it on our
Yeah.
one hand how
Yeah.
many
We've only
times
met
we
each other a couple
physically met.
times
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. This is
interaction.
so sacred. This is the sacredness in this. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, all of it is was a buildup and stimuli for this magic moment. And I found that yeah, that leading up to taking the yoga mats out and then opening up to this beautiful garden space. And then the people walking by, right? They themselves were just walking by and doing their own meditative walks or jogs or conversation and around. It was yeah, it was hearing the birds and hearing yeah, again, just with a friend going out to do something meaningful, but we had spiritual intention, did we not?
Yeah. And what's wonderful is also preparing to help and serve others. So the reality of working together too. So the whole intention was, okay, well, what can we learn together in a short period of time? What have I grown into energetically? What methods are working for me? How can I show you something that could be impactful to helping and serving and changing lives, where you're living and the work that you're doing, where you are and how you're blessing so many people with your own projects that you're doing. And so that's where I come to serve. And I'm like, well, what do I have to offer? And what do I have to remind? And it's so interesting, even with offering you the mala, you having memories of your childhood, but having the newness and the non-judgment mind into the newness of maturity. Because audience, a big thing about shedding into soul culture is as we mature and we continue to do methodologies, we recognize the mind much more on all of the faces that it carries and what we identify. If we're identifying with the victim of the child, or if we're still holding on to the wounds of our family life, and we're not ascending from those attachments mentally, soul work and soul methods, soul culture, the shedding can really show us, hey, look at it's just the mind. And the mind is minding, and there's so much more to appreciate. So yeah, yoga really helps you to slow down again. And it takes you two steps back into a deeper appreciation of not only the nature that was in Fleetwood Gardens, but the relationships with our family and what that's taught me into nourishing other people in my own personal enlightenment, is like, hey, what did you get already? Did you get that already in family life? Okay, did you not? Okay, let me offer this to you and look through these eyes and just allow things to be as they are and don't put up so many walls, because there's so much more love to actually have in a day, even though we have the programming in our family life. So
And it was immediately that you were nurturing me with that morning, Leanne, was this unconditional love, motherly love, embodying me in it with the matcha tea, the bananas, and then I'm getting this beautiful gift from you, gifts, from you, not, of heart, of like really deeply wanting to connect with me, and then all of a sudden finding a space where I just felt so comfortable and I just couldn't help but break down with all as you were so light. It was this yin and this yang. It was this heavy energy I felt coming in with in my soul, really heavy. And then just entering your space, coming down the stairs, and then you just opening up and just sitting at your humble uh little dining room table there, coffee nook, I would call it, and dining room table, and we just sat there and shared and opened up, and I just felt that the few questions that you had asked and inquired about where I was at, I don't know, there was just this immediate confession at heart, and as you were talking about your intention of wanting to heal and shed, allow the soul to shed its um whatever it's needing to shed. And I felt this space to do so just naturally. I don't know. We were just supposed to meet up, and I thought we were just coming to hang out, really. And it
So
was
it's
so,
amazing like how the methodologies that I am using and in listeners, it's been over 30 years I've been training in many methods with many masters, and just recently finished my 500-hour yoga advanced training to continue to dive deeper into these great master keys of ancient India and the blessings of Lord Shiva recently too, because he was the first yogi. So those divine gifts are within me, spreading through me, and energetically I can truly see the magic of how it's asking me to serve, and it's asking me to hold space. And I was very well prepared, knowing before, intuitively, before you were coming into my space, of what to prepare for. But I never know anything fully until the person arrives, and then I listen, and then I can say, oh, okay, that's why I need to give the gift, right? And then continue to give the gifts, because when you have a gift, if you don't share it, it can't multiply. It can't have power, and the power means transformation, shedding into soul culture. And I think it's a beautiful thing at this point, listeners, to see what the healing brought through the tears. I called it the mystic tears, so that we don't give emphasis on emotional attachments, is where we give it more of the mystery school of life, of like, yeah, coming into an energetic field that is high vibration, it's centered energy, and it has wisdom. It has a huge shift for us. And that's why I want to build these fields of love. I want to build these opportunities to celebrate more, but to understand we are humans on this journey, already enlightened, and we're having a human experience as an enlightened being, right? So the human aspect, it's important to nurture it, to listen to it, to have compassion for it. And as we did our yoga in the forest, and we got to the end, there was a celebration that was it was so miraculous, where Brad had
yeah,
said to me,
I came right out of, like, right after our yoga session, and I was like, where's my tap shoes? I'm ready for my tap shoes. I need to go get some tap shoes. I'm ready to tap dance. I
dance
couldn't
with your
even think
soul,
of it.
like taking that opportunity to hear that. I was
I
like,
wasn't even thinking that, hey? It just
yeah,
came out. And when it came out, it was like, this is what I am. And
it's like you were
sure
Fred
enough,
Astaire, like, your soul was like, I'm just going to take over the world now. And that I cleansed
no,
with
and
my spirit.
I felt this old, like in the 50s, it was different back then. Look at every era has their spirit and their virtue and their innocence and their darkness, and I just felt that, I don't know, that era there, I was like back in the 50s, it was very lighthearted things. I mean, even in the dancing, the things seemed to be a little more lighthearted, no?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the time had less, well, the abundance that we have needs, it needs its own, we need to simplify, but we have so much reach that we also have a lot of abilities that we also all need. So I really feel we're always in the right place and time according to creation's wish. It's just how we utilize it, and just slowing things down in a yoga class, slowing things down by being in a vibrational held space where there's been a lot of empowered, energetic energy that has been in my field, and watching that cleanse you and bring you into an inner child state of like the inner dancer. And here's the thing, listeners, I had boxed up some things recently to put on Facebook Marketplace, and there's a pair of shoes I bought for my son. He did tap dancing once, and in there, those shoes were quite expensive. And I said, you know what? They need to go to the right kid, because I put so much effort into it. I just really believe that they need to go to the right person. They need to be in the right place. And when you came out of yoga and you just said to me, I need tap shoes, I just said, universe. I just put it out to the universe within 2 days. And actually yesterday I was talking about it to my son to get up on Facebook Marketplace. And then you put your foot up to my foot, and I said, they're going to fit him, universe. Right. And then the joke is, we were so excited, like two kids in the candy store, like, let's get back to my house and figure out these fit. We were more
Well,
excited.
I was already certain that those were my shoes, no? I
Yeah,
was like, those are
yeah,
my shoes. There's no way they're not. It's like you're saying. So basically, what happened was after our yoga, we finished with this deep, with a meditation. Um, and after that, I just woke, came right out. I mean, it was just like seamlessly. And I was like, okay, where's my tap shoes? And Leanne, I was like, no way. I'm like, yeah, where's my tap shoes? And it was like that. It was like, and I was like, I need my tap shoes. I need my tap shoes. I'm gonna go get some tap shoes. She's like, I already have your tap shoes, bro. I was like, no way. She was like, yeah way. I was like, no way. She was like, yeah way. So, anyways, it was so good.
yeah. It was, but
It
the
was
thing.
so playful too, and it was just so awesome how it just like appeared. And again, this is that playful, nurturing spirit that I think we tend to forget in this hard, heavy, and dated life of responsibilities,
Yeah,
and
well, to enter,
accountability
we were
and
saying, like,
roles and whatever, these are all, again, they're true, but it's like how heavy we take these roles. How heavy do we take these responsibilities? Because really, is this the end all? Is this what we're here for real?
yeah, well,
And I think
I feel like that the heaviness is the patterns of uh of not overcoming the mind also. So I really feel like why teach methodologies to help you overcome the mind or help you to observe the mind deeper, and why these sadhanas are really important for every soul to transcend into higher chakras in the body, because every other aspect of what we have in the body is giving us different needs of being human, and they're all rightfully there as long as there's awareness and consciousness. And so when we're coming into shedding into soul culture, what is soul culture? So when we do methodologies, we are a lot more in our soul nature, and then the inner child, like they say in the Bible, to enter the kingdom of heaven, we must be childlike. So really, all these different blessings of consciousness that are out there universally, they're there with methods, of however you're blessing yourself or however you're doing a method, however you're getting clear, you just come back into that pure conscious state, and then watch the miracles, because they're always there, but we're not watching as deeply and appreciating with gratitude as deeply, because we're always going so fast, right? So
so
that's what.
being vulnerable, it's true. It's like taking that moment. It's like you and me. It's like we've had this intention to meet up. It's like if you've got a friend listener, you got someone, a family member out there, you got someone on your heart and mind that you've been thinking about for some time. Well, guess what? It is time. It's like a simple message. Yeah, it starts with that. But when was the last time we picked up the phone? It's like, how's it going? You know, Auntie Martha, I haven't talked to you for 15 years. It's like, how are you doing it? I was thinking about you and I just wanted to call and say hi, even just sending that message out through any way to reach her, it's like, my God, it's like we've got so many of our relatives out there suffering right now in loneliness. And it's like, we're their connection. Some of us are their only connection. It's like also those setbacks of what kind of resentments, woes, and sorrows do we got to, with friends and family and whoever that we've come across, past co-workers maybe, that
Anybody,
we
but
just
the
have that
beautiful
little
thing.
nudge. It's like, how do we get over those nudges and just send out and remember that we're just here to love, we're here to take care of ourselves. No problem, we're already taken care of, we're already living, we're already breathing right now. But like, let's take this moment to just, who is it out there that we can reach out to? And it just takes a change of heart, a change of mind. And that's what was so special, Leanne,
Mm.
about our reunion, was that you gave me that opportunity and allowed me to, it never just allowed me, just reminded me that when I entered your space and was just there, it just gave me that opportunity. And I don't know what it was. I didn't even have to speak. I didn't even know what was happening. My body was already going through the transformation in the field of just knowing that, hey, somebody wants to hear my story and you just asked. And it was just, okay. And this was my pain. I it's just very few people are asking, how are you doing on the inside? You know what I mean? How's things on the inside? How is the internal world? How are your family relations?
Yeah,
How's the relation with yourself, your relations at work?
yeah.
And just asking that just gave me the space of truth. and
Mm,
I just have to answer, and it just, the conversation, never mind the intention. As you're talking about these, yes, these practices, they allow us to have that space, allow the body to connect in that emptiness and in that stretch and in that breath and in that moment to
mm,
just breathe, let go. Remember, we're here. We're here to remind one another. And it's really not that hard,
mm.
right?
Yeah, so beautiful. And we got about 5 minutes to wrap up in this beautiful conversation, listeners. One thing I want to highlight is
Did we
we were
get through the
both.
tapping shoes? Sorry. Did we get through? Hold the thought. Just did we get through the tapping shoes? So yeah,
Yeah,
you
so the
had the
tapping
tapping
shoes,
shoes.
the tapping shoes was where
Thank
the mystery was, where you already knew that they were yours, and the confidence that you had. And then putting them on, they fit perfectly snug. Everything was
It's
just
just like
perfect.
right out of a Cinderella book, but it was like written for it. It was like a new Cinderella story. I don't know,
Oh
but
yeah,
it
it
was.
was a beautiful Cinderella
I
story,
was like,
but look at the
but not
miracle.
Cinderella. It was like, yeah, it was very, no. I felt like a king. Hey, being back in my shoes,
Oh
I
yeah,
felt like.
and then and re-triggering your inner child. So, listeners, the main thing is being on this path and like being the observer. Yeah, the miracles are happening through us, but are we tapping into that cosmic consciousness within us? Are we tapping into that consciousness that is guiding us through it all and allowing the miracle? And are we breathing through it? Like, yeah, there is a part of trying our best every day. I have to try my best to show up with these methods so that things like this happen. If I don't do the work, if I don't continue to do the work and reach and listen and allow and trust and then let it unfold whatever way it's, but all I need to do is be prepared, like a good brownie, like be prepared, have the right tools in my toolbox, continue to love myself and do my best for myself and my family every day and my friends, and stuff like this is everywhere. But the most important thing, is listening to that love connection, where the love takes you. Where's love taking you right now? Is it telling you from inside to build something? Where me and Brad were talking about doing this for a while, and we're like, okay, yeah, we got to do this. We can build an energy field. We can help and serve more people energetically to continue to love what they do about life and to love themselves more. And that's shedding into soul culture. So I just want to thank you, Brad,
Yeah,
again.
and listeners, in case you're wondering, who that was, with me, that I was, having, that I was, I was needing to shed some past resentment, and a lot of past resentment was just growing up with my mother. It was a lot of my motherly issues that were coming out, and it was hard, and it was, I've been holding on to it for a long time, and I am currently living with my mother, and then being within your field and talking of, and reminding me of just, while you were saying, and you opened up our yoga session, in the mind's eye, saying to picture Mother Earth and my mother, you
Mm,
know, together in harmony and as if they were one. So what is there to blame? It's like and then at 70 years old, she's on her way out.
yeah.
The ends. I mean, she's on that way in the human lifespan, right? So it's like, are we going to just continue to hold on to this shit, or are we going to let go of it and just shed it and to be rid of it, and at the same time get back into our purpose of why we're here? And I'm just so honored to be reminded that you're a true, yeah, you're one of my true family members, and it's like, it's those family members. I mean, we see it in biblical references, we see it in different scriptures and different cultures, and we see it amplified in many cultures, of how important it is for family, and how important it is that our neighborly family is also acknowledged. And those are the people that we pass by every day, that we seemingly think that we may not know or we don't know. That these are other humans on this journey,
And it's
walking a
all
life
around us every
pressure,
second.
right?
It's every
Yeah,
second.
and
So
pressure.
So in closing, listeners, I want to thank you for having a chance to share our miracle of shedding into soul culture. And I look forward to sharing more of these great talks of the things I experience every day, because I really feel God's given me a great gift. And I feel I want to amplify it the best I can in saying thank you, and just listening to real stories where great methods from the great masters really help the process of family life. So thank you, Brad, for showing up, and I send you a big hug. And I can't wait to have our next podcast live.
Yeah, much love to you, Leanne, and to all of yours.
Okay, namaste.
Namaste.